So, God forbid somebody that is innocent to this chase gets injured as a result of the actions of the subject fleeing from the police department. So that's why in the state of Florida, and particularly in South Florida, we have limited our chase capability to forcible felonies.
We're just being told that they're closing off some of the ramps. I don't know how long or if you've been able to watch this, but there were the spike strips and there were a number of police vehicles along the side of the road, but it doesn't seem as though, it's hard to tell, he's going underneath that overpass. It's hard to see whether or not he is indeed slowing down.
Well, it looks like they tried to lay some of the strips down, but it did not look like it was effective. And as a matter of fact, the way he's traveling now, it doesn't look like it's as effective as it could be, although it looks like his front left tire might be flattening out.
Yeah, it does look like that one tire, and I don't know, we can't see obviously the other side of the car, but it's possible that could have been blown out as well. Does it become particularly dangerous now unless he decides to stop? Yep, it looks like he's going to pull over. What's the standard operating procedure? He is not. He's continuing on.
Right. Well, obviously, when the individual does stop, it all depends on his compliance or if he flees. But regardless, officers have to use the utmost care for their safety as they approach the driver, obviously because they don't know what the issue is. All they have is that he failed to stop for a law enforcement officer for an infraction.
Yeah, we're also told that it has Indiana license plates, so this is somebody who is out of state, which may also be a reason. I mean, if in a case like this, they would automatically run the plates, right?
Oh, absolutely. The plates have already been run. There's no doubt about it. So obviously the law enforcement officers have a better understanding of the vehicle and if indeed the owner is wanted.
So what are they doing right now? What's the sort of idea? Because they know at this, oh, look, it's starting to smoke. You can see the tire smoking?
Yes, and it looks like he's reaching into the glove compartment, and that's something very significant. He's pulling something out of some type of a bag or something, and hopefully it's not a gun.
Well, there's a police chopper up there. Do you think that they're able to see that, or there we go. He's on the ground. They're pulling him out. They've got him. Struggling. This all happened very quickly. From what you were able to see, they did it by the book?
Well, with regards to the apprehension, absolutely. And you can see the individual is violently resisting. And it looks like the officers have done a very good job in the apprehension of the individual with minimal injury to him, if any at all. And now it's time to find out what indeed is the concern and why he fled. Looks like they apprehended him quite nicely. Yeah,
without, as you said, anybody getting hurt, and he seems to be in okay shape. What would, again, just so we can be clear on this, is there sort of a standard, you had a standard when you were in Boca in South Florida, but is there sort of a generally accepted standard nationwide about when you pursue a suspect?
No, there is not, and that is an issue that the International Association of Chiefs of Police has been trying to deal with. Individual agencies have their own policies as they relate to police chases, as they do to relating to any other aspect of law enforcement. And in South Florida in particular, there has been a long-standing no-chase policy for about the last 10 to 15 years amongst agencies that clearly state that you will only pursue in a vehicle that was engaged or involved in a forcible felony, and nothing else will allow you to chase a vehicle of that nature. So an infraction is not something that we would chase for.
Well, that's going to be something that's clearly looked at. I'm sure a lot of people on those roads as he was going up and down, both north and southbound on US 75 were scared by the fact that he was cutting in and out and cutting people off. But let me ask you finally, and you've been very generous with your time now, Mr. Scott, when you were the police chief, did you ever ask any of these guys, did you really think you were going to get away?
Oh, yes. It's interesting. Some of them really felt that they were able to get away, and others weren't even thinking about the possibility of getting away. They just didn't want to get caught, and so they became so fearful that they did whatever they felt they had to do to flee from the police. But there were some that actually thought they were able to get away, but the majority of time, and particularly with helicopters today, as we've seen just now, You don't need to have very many police units following or chasing a vehicle when there's a helicopter overhead that can easily direct units in the area to keep an eye on where the vehicle is going.
Yeah, you're not going to outrun that chopper, even as he was going an estimated 80 miles per hour. Andrew Scott, the former police chief of Boca Raton, Florida, expert on police chases. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too. So peaceful ending and successful ending from the police perspective to this chase that went on for almost an hour and a half when a man who was driving that black SUV had a busted taillight. They tried to pull him over. He wouldn't go over. We're told it's an Indiana license plate, and that a high-speed chase ensued in and out of traffic, both north and southbound on US 75. Part of the good news is this all ended before they got into rush hour, because it was very dangerous as it was going on, even with fairly light traffic along that highway. So an ending to that, and we have a lot more news developing for you. One of the things we are keeping our eye on as we watch the final moments of this and all the police gathered around is Chief Justice John Roberts of the U.S. Supreme Court in the hospital today after taking a fall in Maine. We're waiting for more information on that. So busy day as the suspect sits on the ground, his legs folded, his hands cuffed behind his back. We'll have more after this.